Hi guys, the Metal Maniac back again, and welcome to another music collection update. So, first up is an album that I initially only had on CD. Took a long time to find it on vinyl. And that's the album Victims of the Night by Halloween. Um, yeah, so the vinyl version, for some reason, compared to all the other vinyl versions of their other albums, the vinyl version of Victims of the Night is just really hard to find. Now, all vinyl versions that have been released have always, or at least the re-released versions of the vinyl versions, have always been a limited number copies. But for some reason, this one in particular is really hard to find now. Um, the reason is, for some weird reason, the rest of the vinyl re-releases of this band's albums, after a certain amount of time, they would get re-released again, and the vinyls would get re-released again and re-released again. All every time a certain limited to a certain number of copies, but every every so often they get re-released and re-released and re-released. But for some reason, the vinyl version of this album in particular was never re-released. Um, but anyway, so yeah, it's been taken me quite a while to actually track one of these down. There were a couple listings like a year ago, but I wasn't able to get to them before someone else bought it. But anyway, um yeah, the only issue I have with the vinyl re-release is the replacement artwork. I don't know if they couldn't get the rights to the original artwork or something like that. Hold on. Is that it? Yes, that is it. All right. Oh, oh shit! Hold on. Sorry, the pamphlet almost fell out. Anyway, so this is the original version from '97. There have been multiple CD re-releases as well. This original 1997 CD version is the only version with the original artwork. They switched it right after with the very first re-release. But yeah, I actually really like this artwork more than the vinyl version and the other re-released versions. Love the bright bloody red with the title, and then the graveyard and the mist in the background, and then the castle there with the blood red moon on the back. But yeah, love this final version. Again, I just really wish they would have, brought back the original front and back artworks. But who knows? Maybe if they ever re-release this on vinyl, they'll bring back the original artwork. But I don't know if they changed it for some legal reason. Maybe whoever originally did the original artwork just for some reason or another didn't allow them to reuse it again. I don't know. But yeah, although this is also a gatefold, but there's only one vinyl, so that's a bit odd. Anyway, enough rambling about that. Um, Next up is another thing that was extremely hard to track down, and that is the demo "Thy Deadly Illusion" by the one man thrash metal band Iron Warrior. Yeah, Iron Warrior was a band that didn't last long. It originally was a multi-person band when they formed in 1987. Sometime between 1987 and 1988, most of the band members left for unknown reasons, and then all of a sudden, just one guy was left. And yeah, this became a one-man band. The demo apparently was delayed for a while, and then eventually came out in November of 1988. And then again for unknown reasons, the guy just decided to basically abandon the project. And yeah, this demo was never re-released, and it's not only really hard to track down, but because it's basically an unknown band at this point, like the chances of actually finding it are very slim. I just got lucky. I just looked it up after I heard the actual audio from YouTube. I just randomly decided to look it up, and I got lucky. I haven't seen a listing for it since. I don't know how many copies were even made, but Yeah, it's a very cool demo. Also, a very kind of unique thrash metal. Kind of like a combination of old school thrash metal and old school doom metal. Um, but yeah, it's really cool. It doesn't even sound like it's one. I guess in certain parts, but the production wise, yeah, it's that old school raw production. But at the same time, it has sort of like a very, again, just like with the instrumentation, a very sort of interesting mix of old school thrash metal and old school doom metal. But yeah, just very very happy I was able to track one down. Also, it's in like near mint condition, like, or I would say mint condition, I guess, because the person I bought this from Discogs, they labeled it as near mint, but honestly, I play tested it and it sounds crisp and clean like the first day. Like it was just bought off the store shelf or something like that. There's very little like wear on the actual J card on the inside. Like really, the only wear is like a little bit on the edge there where the paper is folded. Where one of the it's folded on the front there. And there's a little bit of yellowing on the white portions, but barely yellow. It's barely yellowed. It's almost crisp white. You can't kind of the lighting in my room right now is not too good, but it's again it's almost completely mint both in look and sound. So I'm very happy with the condition of this, considering how old it is. That someone, it sounds like the person who had it never even played it. And even though they never, or even in the case that if they hadn't played it, I'm still very thankful they kept it in such good condition for all these years. Um, but yeah. Now the next two things aren't music related, but they're still really cool. So first up is a horror movie called Cthulhu Mansion. Um, yeah, this one I haven't heard of before. I just randomly saw it when I was at a store. Or my local record store. I was at my local record store, which they sell music, but they also sell movies. And mostly action movies and action, sci-fi, and horror stuff. They have a really cool horror section. A lot of the movies that they have there are like super rare. Movies from like the 80s and 90s. Some of them are on VHS tape, some on DVD, some on Blu-ray. But yeah, there's some pretty rare releases there. But I think this is from 1990 actually. But anyway, I haven't ever seen this. Um, I did sort of just read the back just to see what it's about. It looks pretty interesting. Now I'm like 99.9% percent sure I haven't showed this in a previous video, but I don't know. I have a slight feeling that I might have, but also I'm like mostly sure I haven't. So if this is a repeat, I'm sorry. But I'm pretty sure I haven't, but I don't know why I feel like I have, but at the same time, I don't think I have. Also, it's a really cool slipcase where the slipcase is the reimagined artwork, whereas the actual front of the case of the uh, Blu-ray case itself is the original artwork. Um, Also, I believe that yes, this is a two-sided artwork. So also you have the redone artwork on the inside as well. Actually, it's two-sided, so you could flip it. You could either have the redone artwork on the front or the original artwork. Um, but yeah. Oh, hold on, something's stuck. Oh, come on. Always hard getting these Blu-ray cases into the slip cases for some reason. With DVDs, it's kind of easier, but I don't know why. I don't know if it's just the specific shape or size of the Blu-ray cases, but for some reason, Blu-ray cases are harder to get into slip cases than DVD cases are. But anyway. Um, and then lastly is this really awesome book. It is the has every single H.P. Lovecraft story in it. Yeah, H.P. Lovecraft. I'm surprised considering how the actual like short amount of time he actually wrote stories. I believe it was from like what early 19 something to around 1935, I believe. Yeah, it wasn't considering how many authors usually have like years worth of years worth of work in the matter of a year, in a matter of quite a lot of years. Uh, H.P. Lovecraft, but in his life, he wrote so much, but in a short amount of time, in a relatively short amount of time compared to a lot of other authors, which I always find kind of impressive. Although I guess it makes sense considering a lot of his stuff was short stories. I think there was only like one novel he did, and like maybe a couple novellas. But yeah, this is the complete collection, so it has literally everything he ever wrote in here. This is going to be a really interesting read because I haven't read most of these. I think I've only ever read Call of Cthulhu and maybe what was the other one that I read? Oh, Under the Pyramids is the other one I have read. The red Call of Cthulhu and and I can't speak today, and Under the Pyramids. But yeah, the rest I haven't read yet, so hopefully they're good. Although I have seen a couple movie slash TV show adaptations of a couple of these. But yeah. Alright, so that's about it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you all next time.